Hello, welcome back to fromsoftserve. Today we have some fun additions where I was kind of just goofing around and adding new things, and then also an update on the other Burg by a very talented Discord member. And first off though, I do have links in the description for my Patreon, PayPal donations, Ko-Fi or Coffee probably is how they pronounce it. If you want to support the mod more directly, genuinely that does help a lot. Previous donations have honestly helped more than you possibly will ever know, honestly. So if you want to support, me more directly that way, the links are in the description. And thank you so much. And continuing on to the video here, we have some fun additions. As I said, we go up here. So first, well, you'll notice there's now a gap in the in the tower here. I actually modified that, but the first idea was actually a ladder right where my head is at. I figured out the event scripting for ladders, which I'll show in a bit. It was actually really easy, but I added a ladder and you can get on top of this roof. And I wanted to do this for about a week or more, but I got sidetracked. But because the weird thing I found is this roof already had a collision on it. Like there was already a collision pre-existing to where you could walk on it, but there was no way to get up there, right? So I was like, well, I need to fix that, right? And so, yeah, I ended up actually adding a ladder there, really cool. But then I had a separate idea, and then someone replied to my tweet about showing the roof and the ladder. And they were like, yeah, what if you could jump over there? And I'm like, well, shit, that sounds way cooler. And that was my backup idea. And so basically, whoop, you can hop on top of the roof now. Oh, I love that little, oh, that's so cool. I added these barrels and crates. I could add a little bit more. I thought maybe adding an item, a chest, something like that for keen viewers, right? Actually, let me try to hop back. I don't think I'll be able to hop back because really you just, ouch. The good thing is I actually like that it's not like a perfectly easy jump, right? It actually would take some effort. Oh, I bet there's a really talented person who could jump back. Okay, sorry dog, I didn't mean to yeet you. Yeah, the timing of the jump, without the jump button being on the thumbstick like the future games, oh man. Yeah, the B running and then jumping, oh my god. Oh. So it's actually kind of perfect in that way that it is not a gimme 100%. Oh, you can even get up to the top roof. So I actually like that there's different levels of like, oh, well, I was able to hop down here. Well, then I did a really good jump and I was able to hop up here. And maybe you can even make it over here. I don't know. But yeah, I thought that was a fun little... Oh, there seems to be something blocking right there. Okay. I will look into that. I imagine that might be just a tiny collision issue. And then I added another... You son of a bitch. Okay, take that. I'm using a worse weapon because I was bored with Gwen's sword finally. I was like, oh my god. Okay, well, this is what happens when you don't play without... You don't play with the HUD. I didn't realize I apparently had no health. Well, there you go. Fun fact. So the other thing I've added was actually really late at night. It was sort of like last minute, but it was a lot of fun. So let's head down here, because my goal, and that's actually what I'm going to title this video, I think, is expanding Undead Burg and Firelink Shrine. And these like skips aren't really about making the game easier, because I actually got some comments on Twitter about that, where they were like, oh, it's kind of like tongue-in-cheek, where they were like, oh, eventually there's going to be an elevator that just gives you like 100,000 souls or something. And I'm like, I don't think you understand. It felt like a joke where they were actually saying what they thought, but it was easier to say in a joke format. And I'm like, yeah, that's fair. But these aren't about making the game easier. If anything, when you really think about it, they don't. Like this one here, this is the video that they commented that on, saying that, oh, it was going to make the game too easy. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. It's also not perfect. Okay, so I added this portion here to be a collision, because before you would actually slide down the slope, and also this was blocked by a fence and a collision, so it was not possible previously. But now you can hippity hop hop, ooh, booyah, and now you've made it to Lower Undead Burg. But they were saying that, like, oh, you know, eventually you're gonna add a fucking elevator that gives you a ton of souls or something, and as basically implying that this was making the game easy. And I'm like, first of all, I don't know how that's true at all. Like, how does basically joining this fucking gangbang down here make the game easier? I don't think it does. If anything, it's gonna absolutely destroy early, new players that don't know. Oh my god. They seem hornier. Yeah, see, there you go. I need a better weapon, to be honest. An unupgraded little butter knife. Not a great idea. But people were saying, only like one or two, to be honest, but I'm sure there were other people who were thinking this, that somehow these skips make the game easier. Not really. If anything, yeah, they'll end up in Lower Undead Burg and then be in a gangbang and then destroyed. And not to mention, most people won't notice them. That's kind of why I like them, is that most people will not know that they're here. That's sort of the intent, right? And that's always been a Dark Souls thing, where there are other hidden ways to do things, or alternate options, but they're not clearly presented to the player every time, because, well, that would ruin it, right? And so this was another skip that, I made a video about previously, and some people were like, oh, that's just going to destroy progression. And I'm like, yeah, but how? How does this destroy progression? And then they were like, well, shit, okay, actually, I think you're right. Because when you think about it, this does not destroy progression. So right here, this whole portion of the bridge was inaccessible previously. I made that door, and then the collision over here, you can walk on it. I modified the collision for this building, and you can basically hop on the building and die. That is a perfect example of that skip is not without danger, as it should be. But if you do it correctly, let me end up on the other side of the roof. You basically can end up behind the door that unlocks that shortcut to Lower Undead Burg. But that isn't destroying progression, because once again, Lower Undead Burg is not a free lunch. Like, you can easily die down there. Hell, I die down there even in late game because I fuck up and I make a mistake. But if you you just hop down here. Whoop, which, yeah, if you hop too far, you could fuck up pretty easily. Well, and not to mention, you're gonna run into oh my god, and I almost ran off. And then I obviously fixed the door here from being out, basically facing the wrong way. And I guess people could say that was making the game easier, but it's like, once again, that was just a really dumb thing that sometimes it was a really stupid thing that resulted in you dying, but because you would like go, oh shit, and then you would fall the wrong way or something. But I don't think it was a genuine like difficulty thing, IMO. But I don't know. Those were a couple things where I'm like, all right, I think people are getting a little too sensitive about the skips, and are not. I don't know. I feel like critically thinking about them, you go, oh, they're just optional and they don't actually mean anything. They're just fun little things to do. They don't affect really the gameplay much at all. Specifically, like that bridge one right there, is you get the basement key right around this time anyway to go, down to Lower Undead Burg. So like, there's not a big difference. You either get the key or you make that bridge hop. But literally, I think almost no one will know that that bridge skip is there. I think only people who've seen the videos go, well, okay, I guess I'll do that. But literally no one else, I think, will see that. Like a new player, even a person who's downloading the mod to do another playthrough, I don't think they're going to go, oh shit, let me go through that doorway. Let me go all the way to the end of this bridge that was never accessible before. And yeah, I guess I don't see that as very likely. So But the other thing is I've left for the coolest and most exciting thing is actually what Zormak in the FromSoftServe Discord, they've been working on this for a little while, and it has to do with the other Burg that is over here. And because my method for testing, like getting down there, right, was awful, right? It was a bunch of Firelink shrines or Firelink graveyards glued together on top of each other, and it was ugly as fuck, and it was meant to be that way, right? It was me just, what's the quickest way I can get down there to see if I can test out the tools? But Zormak, the legend that they are, crafted a whole pathway, which is just so cool. And then you can like hop down that way, but let's take the main path, which is just so fucking cool. Of course, this pathway I'll be adding like grass and, you know, enemies and different things to sort of like, I can add like torches on like maybe a couple like on this doorway or something, but like, come on, we got our own little archway out here. This is a lot of work to get this to work, like collision editing, the mesh editing, having it all function together. Like, this was a lot of work, the UV unwrapping and shit to get this to look correct with the textures. And like, this is just super impressive. Like, come on. So then it's actually cool because when you go this way, the pathway actually ends at not even the main town I was thinking about. It's actually the town that's even further back, which is awesome. So they're, you know, eventually I'll be able to focus my time on other Burg over here, but you could have an entire other town, 2 towns, in fact, that you can explore. Of course, there's little issues down here of like this building and whatnot, but that's all TDB. But yeah, I mean, look how big this pathway is. This is so fucking cool. And then you kind of go down here. And I had someone go, yeah, well, it seems, you know, kind of barren. And I'm like, I don't think you understand. I'm showing off the pathway. I'm showing off the path. This is just super fucking cool. Just because it's not a 1000% finished product. I don't think my entire channel is based upon not 100% finished things, right? So, I don't know. I always find that a weird response. But, yes, there will be things added. But look how fucking cool this is. That we're in the back town, and then the main town that you see from Firelink is actually across. There's actually like a little wall that's over there, and I haven't added a collision for this floor yet. I've done it for the other town, but I haven't done it for this one. When I was implementing their changes from Blender, they sent me a Blender project. So in the description there will be the Twitter handle for Zormak. I asked them, I was like, is there anything? Can I share any link at all that you'd want me to share? And they're so humble and nice, and they were like, oh, well, I guess just the Twitter handle. I don't really have anything. I don't use socials that much. And so you can also see them in the Discord. Please join the Discord. It's so much fun. We have a blast there. There's a bunch of cool mod projects that are being worked on. There's one where they're adding a toilet that Framped comes out of. The Skibbity, I think that's how you pronounce it, Skibbity Framped, and it's a giant toilet, and he comes out of the toilet. Like, that's perfect. That makes total sense to me. So we have some goofy ones, we have some really cool projects, and I like that we're kind of growing a community where people are like, you know what, I'm gonna get into Dark Souls modding, fuck this, hell yeah, man, I'm gonna make, I think in the stream yesterday, you know, someone was like, oh, my project is going to be bringing Irithyll from DS3 into DS1. And I'm like, dog, you go for it, man. That sounds rad. That is a lot of work. And because I think they were asking first if it was possible. I'm like, oh, that's certainly, I think it's theoretically possible, for sure. Like pulling the models from DS3, how you get them to function correctly in DSR. There are people smarter than me that can figure that out. But from what I've learned in Souls modding, basically nothing is purely impossible. Almost anything can be accomplished if you have enough time and diligence. And I always forget where the second drop-off is. Or there was another I saw it in DS. Oh, is it over here? Wow. Is this too high? No, it's not. Let's slurp down another Estus. And yes, I will never, ever, ever refer to it as anything else than slurping down an Estus. That is only the correct way. I can't remember if there's another one to hop down. I might just be missing it, but if there isn't, then I can add another one. And then obviously future plans are like, oh, maybe the collision's blocking it? Oh shit. Hey, that's where the collision actually is, in that town. But yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed this kind of quick look at cool stuff happening with the mod. Oh, also, there was a new version of the mod that went up yesterday. It included a lot of my mesh hole fixes and whatnot. And so that is certainly worth the download. There'll be a link in the description for that. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's super cool. Some of these little skips and whatnot. Let me know if you think of any other locations that might benefit from a little skip. Or that an area that you saw that like should be traversable, but you're like, damn, it was limited by collisions or whatever they were doing in the, when they originally designed the game. But yeah, let me know. That'd be cool. I'd like to open up more places that you could walk and roll onto or jump to, because that's fun. And it doesn't really impact the gameplay at all. I think I'm pretty clear about that. And yeah, so let me know what you think about the skips and the things added to the mod, and if you have any other ideas or just want to talk about Dark Souls. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.